And if it doesn't happen, okay, great.
And if it doesn't happen, you're fine. Then you're ready for the next one.
We didn't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
And this next one is from Charnel. So this is a question that, of course, is a hot topic. Does Louisiana have anything to worry about?
Well, I wouldn't say Louisiana has anything to worry about right now, but people in Louisiana should be watching this very carefully, as they should any system that has the potential of getting in the Gulf this time of year.
Anybody along the Gulf Coast should be watching.
How saturated we are right now in Louisiana, if we get a rainmaker that comes there, it'll be an epic disaster back to back for Louisiana.
Yeah, I don't want to even think about that. And Mike, you know, that's a good point too. Is even if it's not a strong hurricane, even tropical storm, the added rainfall is not what they need there in Louisiana. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for your questions. Don't forget, if you want to converse with us here on the show, use the hashtag WUTV on Twitter, and we'll answer your questions live here on Weather Underground. All right, thanks for staying with us here on the show. Glad you could be with us. I'm Mike Bettis.
And I'm Alex Wilson. Of course, we're closely watching the potential for tropical development in the Atlantic. And this, as you've been learning, if you're with us, it could spell trouble for the U.S.
All right, we're going to talk with Michael Lowry throughout this next hour to get you the very latest on this system. But let's show you what's happening in the tropics right now, because there are several things out there right now, right? It's not just 99L, but there's a look at the hatched area, we call it, the possible 5-day development area. But there's 99L, there's post-tropical Fiona, and then there's Tropical Storm Gaston.
Right, and you know, the ones that you would immediately probably jump to, if you were just looking at this map, you'd go, okay, Tropical Storm Gaston, that's the one I need to look at. Wind 65 miles per hour right now with this one. You can see it's looking good on the water vapor imagery, and this is expected to strengthen as it moves to the north and west. The issue is, and the good news is that this will stay away from land. Could get close to the Bermuda. Not going to be a problem, though, most likely. You can see our track does turn it off to the north as it reaches 100 miles per hour. Not going to be a problem for the U.S. That's why we're so in tune with the goings-on of 99L.
That's right. No, it's not classified as even a tropical depression yet, but we think that it does have the possibility of going there in the next couple of days. So let's bring back in Michael Lowry, talk a little bit more about this. You know, everyone, I think, on pins and needles just anticipating that moment when this gets classified as something.
Yeah, you and me both, because that'll give me...
Our second story, the cool down that comes in behind all this stormy weather, Alex.
We've actually got some cooler temperatures once again coming to parts of the country who enjoyed that cool down into the weekend as well. Let's get a look at the late week setup. There's that cooler air behind that front, and we'll be talking about highs anywhere from 5 to 20 degrees below average. Look at parts of Wyoming and the Dakotas, as well as Montana, where it is going to be chilly. Tomorrow, how about this? Temps into the 70s, even 60s. How about Yellowstone? 57 for your high on Thursday, 63 in Casper, 74 in Pierre, and in Minneapolis, 74 as well. I'm going to go a little extra because I don't want to do it again to you, Michael. I know I've got one more graphic. Wait for it. Wait for it. There we go. Minneapolis, average high 80. You're in the mid and low 70s through the end of the week and start of the weekend. Now, Michael.
Can I get some time back?
Yeah, no, absolutely. You definitely can.
No, we have to go, and we don't even know where it is right now.
Right. And that's the hardest thing, because everybody wants answers. You know, they tune in and they go, all right, well, Michael, Alex, Mike, tell me where this is going.
Right.
Just tell me.
You just don't want to go...
Yeah, right.
But you kind of have to go.
Yeah, a little bit, but we can give, I mean, as meteorologists, we can certainly dissect the atmosphere and give it our best estimate of what's going to happen here.
Yeah, we can, and it will have a much better, we'll have a much better understanding of what is going to happen with this once we do know where that circulation sets up, and it's going to, I'm pretty confident it's going to happen here, and usually you get the defined area of low pressure where the thunderstorm growth is. When you have thunderstorms percolating and persisting in the same place, it lowers the pressure at the surface. The lower the pressure, the more organized the tropical system. Now, when the hurricane hunters went out there earlier, what they found was sort of what the depiction here of the surface winds is showing, which is sort of this really sharp, what we call inverted trough, or a wave in the atmosphere, a tropical wave that doesn't have the winds circling all the way around down to the south side. And until we get that, it's not going to be classified as a tropical depression or a named storm.
Michael, we have a lot of questions coming into us this evening via Twitter. We have one from Aaron this evening asking this. What effect, if any, would the remnants of Fiona have if merged with 99L?
And there was somebody who asked the exact same question a little differently. Mr. ATL asked, could the remnants of Fiona and 99L converge?
Is there anything to it? Because Fiona isn't much right now.
It isn't, but it's an excellent question. Yes, they can, and they probably will have some interaction. And what it does, I don't know. But some recent research suggests that it may help to strengthen it or help to organize it.
This would be 99L.
99L. Fiona, we don't expect to regenerate, but it could actually prop it up a little bit and give it a little more spin.
How so? How does that happen?
Well, you could
Is it added moisture?
It's a little bit of added spin. If you think about like you know, the toy tops, when you have the string on top of the toy top and you pull, and if you pull a little bit harder, it spins a little bit faster. That's what the additional, we call it vorticity, but the additional spin could do for 99L. I mean, but it's really anyone's guess. But that would be my guess. If it would have any impact, it maybe help to organize or help to give it a little more spin.
Wow.
Now, when you look at what happens here, though, with this high pressure, you talked a little bit about it yesterday. It may relax a little bit and give Invest 99L an opportunity to progress westward, potentially nudge that high a little bit.
Yeah, in the tropics, there are a few main factors. One of them in terms of where these systems head, but the biggest driving factor is the Bermuda High. You've probably heard that a lot. This ridge of high pressure, it's like a bubble in the atmosphere, and tropical systems cannot go through them. They have to go around these ridges. And that ridge is strong enough near Invest 99L. Now, Gaston's going to be turning up. There's a break in the ridge, and Gaston's going to be turning out to sea, so no threat to land from what will be Hurricane Gaston middle part of the week, probably tomorrow. But that ridge to the west is going to shrink down. It's going to weaken. And when it weakens, the system's going to slow down. Invest 99L, or what comes of it, will be moving more slowly. But notice it's parked itself to the north of 99L. So 99L is not going to take a track just straight out to sea. More than likely, it's going to continue to head off toward the west and in the general direction of the U.S.
And when you talk about the slow track, and we know over there's very warm waters. You're talking about a system moving slowly over probably the best fuel it could get.
There's a little bit of dry air that may be working against it, but it's at this point actually that the remnants of Fiona this weekend would would get drawn into the circulation or the disturbance there of 99L.
All right, Michael, it's so many factors to consider. It's just amazing how the atmosphere works, so intertwined, right? It's here to tell us we had all forgotten that Erica was...
Tropics definitely top of mind, everybody.
I'm pretty sure that is the topic of discussion.
I think so.
I think it's safe to say that. A little bit.
I think we can say that.
Speaking of which, Johnny wants to know, could 99L have an impact in the Tampa Bay area? Do you see a track similar to Charlie?
Well, I mean, obviously not going to go that far out to try to forecast, but anybody is in play from the Gulf of Mexico through the east coast of Florida up into maybe even southeast Georgia and the Carolinas at this point. So, yeah.
Still so much uncertainty.
So much uncertainty. Tampa is in play, as everybody is along the Gulf Coast at this point. Yeah.
All right. So I had to rearrange, so we may be a little off. So this one is from Phil. At what point in the Atlantic do they send out a hurricane reconnaissance plane to check the tropical systems?
Well, they'll only fly systems that are west of 55 degrees west, if you look at a map, and that's only a few hundred miles to the east of the islands in the Caribbean. They're not going to fly a system that's in the far eastern Atlantic, and generally, if it looks like there's a potential for it becoming a tropical storm or a tropical depression within the next 24 hours, they will task missions to go out there. And once it develops, then they send routine hurricane hunters out there every 6 hours to investigate these systems.
All right, Michael, thank you. Thank you for all the questions. If you didn't get yours answered, of course, keep sending them in. We're going to be answering them over the next few days. All right.